the global bank messaging system SWIFT is planning to launch a new central bank digital currency named CBDC. The SWIFT CBDC is a significant development in changing the financial landscape that's looking to uproot the US dollar's domination. Would this new payment system be able to counter BRICS, as it's the quick-taken decision by West, and no one knows if they've the blueprint ready for that? How Africa and Middle East's joining the BRICS bloc can reduce the dominance of SWIFT's currency in the global trade? How Putin is heavily planning for the end of US dollar. It's going to be interesting. Let's uncover the questions in this video. So be with us until the end. However, the new digital ecosystem is currently in its emerging stage and could be launched in the next 12 to 24 months. The development puts the SWIFT CBDC in direct competition to challenge the yet-to-be-released BRICS currency. Nick Kerrigan, SWIFT's head of innovation, confirmed that a new CBDC currency is on the cards. Therefore, the next 2 years could put the Western financial system on the course of recovery in a de-dollarized world. In 2 years, trades in the SWIFT system could be settled in CBDC currencies, giving BRICS a reality check. The payment system is now being modified on the heels of BRICS, planning to launch a new currency. Apart from SWIFT, nearly 90% of all the world's central banks are exploring CBDCs, and a few of them have started pilot runs. CBDCs could accompany the world into a new financial era, and the West wants to be ahead of BRICS in this segment. Kerrigan confirmed that the SWIFT CBDC initiated a 6-month test run that included a 38-member group of central banks, commercial banks, and settlement platforms. He said that it's the largest global collaboration for CBDCs and tokenized assets to date. If the pace continues, SWIFT CBDC could be launched much before the BRICS currency on the global stage. He further said that we are looking at a roadmap to launch new currency in the next 12 to 24 months. It's moving out of experimental stage towards something that is becoming a reality. The BRICS dream of de-dollarization could become more challenging if the SWIFT CBDC becomes the common payment mode. The new digital payment system could be much ahead in release than its competitors. In conclusion, the next few years will decide the fate of both the SWIFT CBDC and the BRICS currency in the international financial race. However, BRICS is ready to work with all countries to ditch US dollar and their new announced currency CBDC. BRICS member Russia is pushing the de-dollarization initiative in Africa, urging nations to trade in local currencies and not the US dollar. Russia's President Vladimir Putin strongly called for African countries to start using local currencies for trade, including the Russian ruble, as it can reduce the dominance of USD in trade, and their new announced currency may not emerge if this decision is taken strongly. Putin explained that Russia is ready to work with African countries to help them shift away from the US dollar. He added that BRICS can help Africa build its financial infrastructure by connecting its global banking system to local currencies. The Russian president stressed that cross-border transactions without the US dollar are beneficial to African continent. The BRICS alliance is convincing developing countries around the world to stop relying on the US dollar for trade. A handful of countries believe that BRICS has the power to usher the world into a new financial era. And for you information, we've already covered this in our previous video that how BRICS is trying to introduce its new currency and ditching US dollar. Link for that video is mentioned in the description, which you can watch after this video ends. Putin said that BRICS is ready to help Africa if they want to sideline the US dollar for trade and on the development of their financial infrastructure. It permits making trans-border payments independently of Western systems that currently exist and impose restrictions. Until now, 10 local currencies have outperformed the US dollar in last 2 weeks. Hence, after this scenario, the decision came on the new currency by Western bloc. The US dollar remains on a slippery slope this week due to macroeconomic pressures. The prices of gold, commodities, Bitcoin, and the broader cryptocurrency market are rising while the USD is dipping. Around 10 local currencies have outperformed the US dollar this week, including that of 2 BRICS countries. The US dollar is facing competition from local currencies that want to dethrone it from the world's reserve currency status. BRICS is on a world tour convincing developing nations to use local currencies and not the US dollar. Below is the list of the top 10 leading local currencies that outperformed the US dollar this week. 1. Malaysia, ringgit, plus 2%. 2. Japan, yen, plus 1.9%. 3. Philippines, peso, plus 1.4%. 4. Thailand, baht, plus 1.1%. 5. Singapore, S dollar, plus 1%. 6. South Korea, won, plus 1%. 7. China, yuan, plus 0.3%. 8. India, rupee, plus 0.2%. 9. Indonesia, rupiah, plus 0.1%. Even the Philippines' peso performed much better than the US dollar this month in March. Out of the 10 currencies that trumped the US dollar, 2 are from the BRICS countries. BRICS members China and India's local currencies, the yuan and rupee, performed fairly better than the US dollar. The reason of their performance is that India buys more US oil and strengthens its currency. BRICS members India and Russia initiated crude oil deals worth billions of dollars between February 2022 to December 2023. India saved nearly $7 billion in 2 years by procuring oil in local currencies with Russia due to the sanctions. The Indian government benefited from the sanctions and purchased oil at discounted prices with Russia. However, Russia demanded India settle oil payments in the Chinese yuan only, and not the Indian rupee. The demand did not go down well with India, as the country remains at loggerheads with China. India is worried that extensive usage of the Chinese yuan will only solidify the China's GDP and economy. The next best option is to procure oil normally like they used to with the Middle East and the US. Therefore, India now took a U-turn and is buying more oil from the US than that of Russia. But before we proceed further, discussing why India is doing this with Russia, as Russia is one of the closest allies since its independence, and Russia has always helped India in defense sector against any country. I'd like to hear from you. Are you finding this video informative? Feel free to share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. And if you're finding it helpful, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Your support means a lot to us and helps us reach a wider audience and the content that you'll love. Let's continue this journey together. India is purchasing more oil from the US due to energy flows dropping amid sanctions. India's oil refiners purchased 7 million barrels of oil from the US in March 2024 alone. The West Texas Intermediate Midland, WWTI, crude oil accounted for the bulk of India's purchase this month in March. The WTI oil is expected to be heavily used in India in the coming months. India is ditching its BRICS members Russia and China as the country is gearing up for the prime ministerial elections in May this year. Purchasing oil from Russia using the Chinese yuan is not the right option to campaign for elections. India's switch to US oil in recent days will hit Russia's Sokol oil the most. Therefore, cracks could emerge between the BRICS countries due to the latest developments in oil procurements. While apart from India, on the other hand, BRICS urges Middle East to ditch US dollar for oil trade to counter India's decision to purchase oil from US. BRICS member Russia is urging countries in the Middle East to stop accepting the US dollar for oil payments. Notwithstanding the sanctions, Putin has called for the Middle East to deliver a tit-for-tat outcome against the US. He urged oil-producing countries, including BRICS nations Egypt and the UAE, to not accept the US dollar for oil payments. Russia's President Putin says if oil producers in the Middle East stop using the US dollar, it will be the end of the dollar. If oil producers in the Middle East stop using the US dollar, it will be the end of the dollar. Saudi Arabia is the main oil-producing nation that has kept the option of joining BRICS on hold. The kingdom is weighing its options of being a part of the bloc and is yet to conclude its decision. However, Saudi Arabia might decline BRICS membership as its economy is looking to thrive beyond the oil and gas segment. The Saudi kingdom is now opening up the country to tourism and needs the help of the US, Europe, and the West. In conclusion, the Middle East might not stop accepting the US dollar for oil trade as it needs support from the West for tourism. This all happening between BRICS is a geopolitical game. However, being the part of a group, all 9 countries are also thinking independently about their country's growth and prosperity alone. What do you think that with SWIFT's new payment system will counter BRICS currency? Or BRICS will add more countries in the bloc to withhold their position to counter the Western countries? Will Russia take any action against its partner India for buying oil from US instead of Russia and Middle East? Let us know your opinions in the comments section, and don't forget to share the video, and like and click on the subscribe button as well for remaining updated of the current trends in this fast-paced modern world. And furthermore, don't forget to watch the previous made on BRICS block blockchain-based new payment system to counter USD. Link is mentioned in the description. Until next video, stay tuned.